everybody, and welcome back. I'm Heidi with Heavenly Minded Homemaker, and this is our biblically based, minimalist minded approach to the FlyLady system. This is our series of videos that we are going through while we take the FlyLady system, which is amazing, but can be a bit overwhelming. So we're going to simplify that a bit. We're going to go a little more minimalist, as is my tendency to go. And we're also making sure that we are building a strong biblical foundation, because without that, literally everything is meaningless. So that is our priority. But welcome back to day 11 here of the series. We're going to go through the rest of the month, kind of putting together the routines and the habits and the things that we need to make this all work. And then next month we'll start pulling in the kids and digging into zones and doing stuff like that. So it is a very cold and rainy morning here in Western North Carolina. I even did some impromptu 15-minute minimizing in our basement yesterday because it started to flood. So I said, you know what better time to take 15 minutes and declutter as much as I can than right now when everything's flooding. So we got that done. We have been working really well on our routines. We've got our morning routine, right? Waking up in prayer, right? Rising in prayer, getting dressed to shoes. That's getting up, ready, dressed to walk out the door, and swishing and swiping the bathroom while we are in there. And then making sure that we are breaking it up into 15-minute chunks or 30-minute chunks, whatever you need to do to spend at least an hour in Bible reading each day. And then adding in 30 minutes, however you want to break it up, and doing some Bible study each day. I shared with you guys, you can come join us at our home church. We do Bible study packets each week off of Sunday's sermons. That way you can dive in each day. It gives you a little chunk to do each day. You can do it together as a family. Over on our YouTube channel, AMP Home Church, we're doing a Seeing the Unseen, Setting Your Minds on Eternity study by Randy Alcorn. And then starting next Monday, the 25th, my mom is also starting a biblical womanhood study based off of the series that I did last summer. So there's 3 quick study options if you were looking for somewhere to dive in. And then in the afternoon, we are spending 15 minutes decluttering every single day, you guys. 15 minutes at some point in your afternoon, pick a space and just see what you can get rid of, right? What don't I need in this space is really what we're doing right now. Looking at the space, what is the extra? What is the stuff that is driving you crazy and doesn't need to be there? And then in the evening, we are putting out a hotspot. Takes 2 minutes. Mine is usually like the counter or the area above our oven that I showed you guys that I did. Those are big hot spots for us, sometimes even in front of the fireplace. During the warmer months when we're not using the fireplace, the bricks, stuff just gets stacked there. I don't really know where it all comes from. We are making sure we shine our sink every night. So that's emptying it out, wiping it down, and drying it off, giving it a nice little shine. Even for those of us that have older sinks and it doesn't really get shiny, it's still a lot better. And then you can swish and swipe if you have another bathroom that you need to do. I do our kids' bathroom just before I go to bed. 2 minutes, super quick. Finish up any of your Bible reading you need to do, and then pray ourselves to sleep. So those have been the things that we are working on every day. We also have that handy dandy tool in our back pocket of the 5-minute room rescue whenever we get a little overwhelmed and maybe need to give a little something. Maybe if you've been decluttering for 15 minutes, you might want to throw on a 5-minute room rescue before you leave the space, right? Depending on how bad it is. Sometimes that can help a little bit. So today we want to talk about 2 things here real quick, and I'll try to do it quickly. I know I'm usually long-winded, but I will try. Today I want to talk about biblical giving, and then let's start getting into the zones. If you've been around FlyLady for a minute, you know what I'm talking about. If not, hold a second. The next kind of biblical aspect that I want to make sure we're being intentional about planning into our days is that of biblical giving. Christ calls us to be generous givers, right? You look at the early church in Acts and they gave all that they had and nobody went without. You guys, we still have the same call as believers today. So I want us to make sure that we are being intentional about this. I know here in my control journal, I have added a piece of paper. It's literally just a lined piece of paper with our budget, making sure in here that I am budgeting first and foremost to have money to set aside for the church, for ministries that we feel called to give to. Even if it's just a little bit, guys, we don't have really much money at all. So it's okay. You don't do these things when you're wealthy. It's the heart, it's the inside. So making sure that we are setting stuff aside, maybe even on your calendar, add in getting a meal for a friend or a family member or somebody that you know from church or just the neighborhood. Donate a meal to someone each week, right? As you're going through your stuff in the house, what can I give? Maybe even post on like Facebook or Craigslist. Hey, is there anybody in need of anything? I'm going through some excess in our home. I would love to bless you if the Lord would allow, that situation to come up, and then go through and see what you can give. But I want us to make sure that in this process of getting rid of stuff, organizing stuff, putting stuff together, again, if we're not spending so much money out on stuff, that should leave excess money. Are you giving to your local church body? Are you giving to ministries that you feel God leading you to give to? How are you stewarding God's resources, right? We've been talking about it if you're doing the Seeing the Unseen study with us. But if I loved it, our one from yesterday that you guys can go watch, it was a letter from Charles Spurgeon or a sermon he gave, and talking about if a man came down from heaven, how would he spend his money, right? How would he steward these resources that God has given him? Yes, we take care of the things we need to take care of. We enjoy the things the Lord puts before us, but how are we giving? What are we doing? So let's make sure that that is all coming into a part of what we're doing here. Giving of our time. Heck, put it on your calendar every week. Someone that you don't talk to very often, grandparents, parents, family long distance, friends long distance, that you could give them a call. Hey, I've got 15 minutes. Or whatever, let me just sit down and be intentional about calling this person, sending little notes and cards. But really the excess that you have, how can you give it? That's why we have a local church that they have a women and children's shelter and then a men's shelter. We love giving to them so that way they can distribute the resources to people who truly are in need. The baby is trying to bust in. I come and I do the stuff when everybody's happy and like laying down and doing stuff. And then the moment they realize I'm gone, they find me. But I want us to stop and think about our generous giving today, okay? Look to Scripture. Go to Scripture. Look back in your concordance. Just giving, money, possessions. Randy Alcorn is an amazing resource when it comes to this topic. Heads up. Okay, the next point, though, is we're going to start getting into the introduction of zones. So what FlyLady does is it breaks your house down into zones. There are 5 different zones that we break this down into. And what we're going to start doing is every week, we will have a focus on a different zone. So instead of trying to hit all the things in the house all the time, we are going to be intentional about a set space every single week, working at it there in those little 15-minute chunks every day for a huge impact. So it's like spring cleaning, but for a designated space in small manageable chunks every single week and moving around. So the thing with this is we're going to have to stop and think because every home is different, right? So I'm going to post links to like the FlyLady zone cleaning list. My friend Lex, she adjusted hers a little bit and I will post mine as well. So you can see the differences. And this is how I put mine together. I am not kidding. Let me just take these pages out here so I can show you. So these are all of my sheets for my different zones. And what I literally did is I went to each space. I physically went to it and looked at it and said, okay, if I was going to spring clean this, I was going to scrub everything down, get all this stuff done, what would I do in this room? And then I wrote them down on a piece of paper. I just wrote them down. That's what I would do. Again, if you look at this whole chunk, I mean, this is multiple pages here of all this stuff. This is overwhelming. But if I just have to do like 1 page of this, in a week, in a rotating basis, it really isn't that bad. So zone 1 would be like your patio, entrance, dining room. And for us, that works well because we have our patio, our entry door, and that comes right into our dining room, right? And so I went through with the entrance and the patio. What are the things that I would, to get out there looking spiffy, I'm talking clean, what would I need to do? I wrote them down, okay? And then I went to the dining room. Okay, starting from the ceiling and working our way down. What are the things I would do in here to get this room like top notch? Zone 2 is the kitchen. So detailed cleaning in the kitchen, what will we do? Again, I kind of start from the bottom, work my way down, and then work in a clockwise rotation. So making sure I get everything. What would I do in the space to get everything done? Zone 3 would be the bathroom, children's room, and any extra areas. So I went through the kids' bathroom, the kids' bedroom, And then our office, which is downstairs, but still an office that needs to be dealt with, and the laundry room. Those were my spaces for that. And then zone 4 is master bedroom, master bathroom, master closets, right? All of the master bedroom space. That's zone 4. And zone 5 would be your living room. If you also have a den or whatever, you could add that on. So again, that's where you have to go through your space. What rooms do you have, right? How much space do you have? For me on zone 5, I would also add in some extra cleaning time down in just our basement, just general basement space, because in our basement, there is a room for my brother-in-law, a room for my brother, our office, and then just open space of nothingness. So that was kind of added on to me. So what I want you to do today, you really don't have to do anything. You obviously are doing your things that are already on your morning, afternoon, and evening routine, but sometime throughout the point today, just go ahead. You can pull up, look at my zone list, look at Lex's, look at the FlyLady one. You can see them all on there. The Secret Slob has a zone list. There's many out there if you look at zone lists, but I think honestly, the easiest part is to write down all of the rooms that you have in your house, all of the individual spaces, then physically walk into those spaces and say, hey, if I clean this, scrubbed everything, what all would I need to do, and write them down. And then you can always go back and look at our list and make sure like, oh yeah, I want to make sure I do that too and add that on. Like for me, I'll just share like in our dining room, wash the windows and the front door because we have a whole glass front door. Wash the curtains, wipe the baseboards, clear cobwebs, dust the side table and mantle, clean out the side cabinet and tidy. That's what you guys saw me do, the 15-minute, is that what I did? 15-minute declutter I added in for yesterday as well. For the kitchen, clean the stove and oven, wash canisters and countertop appliances, straighten the drawers and cupboards, wash the windows, scrub down cabinet fronts, clean under the sink, throw away old rags and bottles, clean the pet dishes, tidy up both pantries, clear and clean the fridge top, swap out seasonal mugs. I minimize my mugs, but that gives me seasonal mugs, so this way I can rotate them. Wash pantry curtains, wipe down walls and door frame, right? My master bedroom, wipe down the walls and the doors, or for the bathroom, wipe down the walls and the door, scrub the shower and wash the shower curtain, wash baseboards, windows, windowsill, organize under the sink and purge, clean and sanitize the toilet brush and plunger, right? For my bedroom, wash walls and door, clean windows and baseboards, wash curtains, clear out any junk or excess, polish the furniture. My closet, purge excess, clear up miscellaneous items, dust cobwebs, and sweep, right? It really isn't that bad when you list it out and look at it and you're like, oh. And if every week I'm just focusing on one space in little 15-minute chunks, you guys, it's amazing. So that is your mission for today. See, sweet and simple on the video today. Go and make your list, see what you got going on. I'll link my things so you can check them out, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye, guys.